once you have taken on the claim to be a part of Am Israel, the sons and daughters of Israel, there is a necessary demonstration of what you have laid hold of. Hi, this is Barry Phillips. So 10-minute Torah, day number 3, the Torah portion, Vayishlach, and he sent. Let's go to chapter number 33, beginning with verse 1. Let's read a few verses. Let's go down to verse 11. Read with me. And Yaakov lifted his eyes and looked and saw Esau coming, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the 2 female servants. And he put the female servants and their children in front, and Leah and her children behind, and Rachel and Joseph last. And he himself, that is Yaakov, passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near his brother. Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. He lifted his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, "Who are these with you?" And he, Yaakov, said, "The children with whom Elohim has favored your servant." Then the female servants came near, they and their children, and bowed themselves. Leah also came near with her children. They bowed themselves, and Joseph and Rachel came near, and they bowed themselves. And then Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company which I met?" And he said, "To find favor in the eyes of my master." But Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Let what you have remain yours." And Yaakov says, "No, please. If I have now found favor in your eyes, then receive my present from my hand, because I have seen your face like seeing the face of Elohim, and you were pleased with me. Please take my blessing that is brought to you." Listen to what he said. Please take my blessing that is brought to you. Because Elohim has favored me, and because, in this translation, the scripture's translation here says, because I have, and in italics, all I need. And he urged him, and he took it. The italics part says an explanation of what may have been intended. It's not necessarily in the text. He's saying, I have all. I got it all. There's something I'm seeing here in this text, and I'm struggling with it just a little bit. It's speaking to me personally. Remember that Yaakov has just come out of this night-long wrestling match, and now he is permanently disabled to a degree that he limps. So for this man to come and bow himself down to the ground 3 or 7 times is a painful experience. Now, just imagine with me, just reading the text. It says in the beginning of 33, he saw Esau coming, and with him 400 men. Why did he need 400 men? Was this just a super show of strength and military capability? When Yaakov first came within the eyes and the sight of Esau, was his hand already on the hilt of his sword? Was his sword already drawn? Did he come there with the intention, I am going to finally fulfill my vow, I am going to kill him? Is the anger that he has had for the last 14 years or more, is it still raging inside of him? He sees something in Yaakov that causes this change of demeanor. He's gone from perhaps being one of angry and filled with rage to brokenness, falling on his brother's neck, Yaakov's neck, and kissing him and crying. Yaakov had wrestled it out the night before, and he has made peace with whatever is going to happen at this point, because there's nothing else that can be done. But there are three things that I see that demonstrate properly who we are when we make this vital connection as being part of Am Israel, the people of Israel. Number one is brokenness. Obviously, Yaakov is not this haughty, arrogant, I got this, I've schemed, I've made this work, I've manipulated, I've controlled, I have grabbed the heel, I have defended myself, and I'm a self-made man. No, he's not, and he knows that. What an arrogant statement. I am a self-made man, given no honor and no acknowledgement to the hand of Yah who has favored us. And so we see him then demonstrating by every step that he takes with a limp, I am broken. There is a need of being tamed. Brokenness is the taming of our soul. A wild Mustang running across the prairie, its mane and tail flying in the wind, nostrils flaring, chest bulging, eyes wide open. He's having the time of his life racing across the prairie, but he's not carrying anybody. He's not pulling anything. It's all for him until he learns to accept the bit and the bridle and the saddle on his back. Then he can run just as fast, but now he can carry someone and offer some benefit to something or someone other than himself. But there has to be that period of time of the breaking and the taming of the soul. Dreams, visions, ambitions, drives, momentum, all of that is important if it's also benefiting those that are in need. So there's this demonstration of brokenness. Then there is this humility. Brokenness and humility are not exactly the same thing, but there is this humility in that he bows himself 7 times. Once might have been thought enough, but he is going to an extent to demonstrate, I want you to be sure and understand what I am saying to you. Kefa, Peter, he says in chapter 5, First Peter chapter 5, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time. There is this need of the humbling of our souls, the bitter taste of humility that bears sweet fruit. Without humility, there then is left nothing but arrogance and a feeling of self-sufficiency and a dependence upon one's skill sets, whatever they may be. Sometimes we live in the laurels of our reputation. It's not enough. Humility says, I acknowledge what strength I have. It comes from Yah. And I acknowledge that the reason that I have this strength is to honor and to glorify Him. And I acknowledge all of my weaknesses. Yet in my weakness, I am made strong because I have to further depend upon Him. So we have brokenness. We have humility. But then the other side of the coin is this incredible confidence of knowing who you are. Yaakov knew, I have the Bekira, the promise of the lineage of the seed and the inheritance of the land. I know with whom I have walked and in whom I believe. I know who has kept me to this point. I know to whom I belong. I am confident in my relationship with the Creator of the universe. And I know that He will see me through this. When you know that you're Israel, you know where your future lies. You know who your Mashiach is. You know the validity of the Word. You understand why you do what you do and how you walk out the Torah and why you do it. Stand in that confidence, but with brokenness and with humility. More tomorrow. To then, shalom.